Yo, what's up, MMA fans? I'm back. You know what I'm saying? Doing another video. Cover Strikeforce. The past fight. Uh, basically, I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. I wasn't really interested in these fights. I wasn't interested in this card. But I watched it anyways. Half the people I really didn't know who they were. So excuse me for that. But I know it's a couple of you who want to know some fights. What happened. And forgive me with these names because I don't know how to pronounce some of them, and I really don't know. But I'm only going to cover about two fights, and that's Bobby Lashley and King Mo. And KJ Noons. Yeah, their fights. First, I just want to talk about King Mo. I'm going to work my way down. First of all, King Mo lost for the very first time tonight. Okay, and I knew this day was coming, and I knew this day was coming soon after I saw him in the Gegard Mousasi fight. Because you see, if Musashi was just a little bit bigger, because Musashi to me he's a small 205, and that's just my opinion. The guy looks like he could fight it. He could possibly fight at 185. And Musashi is, I believe he's a better fighter than King Mo. I just believe that King Mo's size and power and his wrestling ability overpowered Musashi. And the reason why I'm bringing up this fight is because I think that I like King Mo as a fighter. Don't get me wrong. I think I like him. I think he has great potential and he's done well for himself so far. But I do believe that he's feeling his own hype a little bit too much, and he was not as good as he thought he was. He just had, in my opinion, he hadn't faced top level competition until he had came across Musashi. And the only reason he beat Musashi is because his wrestling background. And even then, on the bottom, Musashi still messed him up. He messed up King Mo's eye so bad. To this day, King Mo, his eye doesn't even look as good. But enough about that. Enough about that fight. I just want to point out some things there. Uh, I may have got some names mixed up, but yeah, he messed up King Mo's eye. Yeah, that's what I meant. I may have said that backwards. I'm not sure, but yeah, yeah, man. I'm just thinking about this fight here, man. And King Mo, if you ask me, he's a bit of an overrated wrestler, and I don't know if he's overrated in the fan from the fan side of it or just from him because he thinks so highly of himself, and you're supposed to. Let's just face it. If you're a fighter, you're going in there to beat people up. You're supposed to think highly of yourself, but you're never supposed to think so highly of yourself to where you think you're invincible. Because when you make that mistake, man, you go wrong. I'm telling you. And King Mo, I've seen a lot of holes in his game from the beginning, but in the Musashi fight, he really let me know what type of fighter that could really beat him. I said a fighter with a very heavy, strong punch, somebody with a lot of knockout power, and somebody with just a decent amount of takedown defense is gonna beat King Mo. He's gonna knock him out, TKO him. Because if you ask me, King Mo, he gasses. It's not that he gasses, it's just that I know something about King Mo's built. His body, he looks like he builds up a lot of acid in his body. Like after about the second or third, fourth round, King Mo, his arms look real stiff. He doesn't really look like a flexible guy to me, anyways. But he's very athletic, but um, King Mo really doesn't mix anything up. He doesn't have Muay Thai. I never really see King Mo throw leg kicks, head kicks. All I see him doing is the boxing that he think is that he think is so good, and I see him doing his overrated wrestling. And again, I don't want to take anything away from him. I just think that his wrestling is just a bit overrated. You know, um, you know, and we seen Rafael Feza. I think that's the way that I think that's the way you pronounce his name. I don't want to take anything away from it all. He did a great job, fantastic job. And hey, he did what he needed to do to get him out of there. He looked great. He looked outstanding. And King Mo, he wasted a lot of energy trying to take him down. And I knew, I said, you know what, King Mo is gonna lose this fight unless King Mo can land something extremely, heavy out of nowhere and knock this guy out. King Mo's gonna lose for the first time tonight because this guy's not going down easy. And to me, it doesn't look like this guy's gonna gas. Let's just face it. He trains out of the same camp. No, Gary and Anderson Silva comes out of Black House, and you know what? Those guys don't really gas very quickly. And I just knew that King Mo was gonna just waste a lot of energy on trying to take this guy down. And I know that King Mo kind of fades when it goes into the later rounds. So I said, you know what? After a while, King Mo's not gonna be able to get those takedowns, man. And oh boy's gonna end up catching him with something. He's gonna end up turning into a stand-up fight. And that's exactly what happened. King Mo got caught. King Mo thought that his hands was good enough that maybe at times he could possibly exchange with this guy, but man, I seen it coming from a mile away. You know what I'm saying? Man, it was a pretty good fight. If you ask me, it was the best fight of the night. Next to KJ Noons. Yeah, it's just my opinion. He really did a good job, man, and beating King Mo. You know what I'm saying? Big ups to him, man. Excuse me if I seem like I'm just stopping and going a little bit because I'm just taking time out to think. Just kind of think about this fight here, man. I know a lot of people may be surprised by it, but I really wasn't, man. But again, King Mo, he has many more fights ahead of him. He's still young. He did a great job. May keep his head up and keep going forward. Um, so big ups to him, and big up to Rafael Fajal. He's a great fighter, and I think he's gonna go far. And ever since I seen him in fight a while back, I forgot who I saw him fight, but ever since I saw him fight, I knew he was gonna be a prospect. You know what I'm saying? And he's doing good. So big ups to him, man. Congratulations. Um, Another thing, man. Oh no, yeah. King Mo was almost, let's just face it, after the Musashi fight, he seemed kind of like a new person. He seemed more humble, and but he was a bit cocky at times still. But he had the belt, so he really didn't have too much to be cocky about. He had gotten everything that he wanted, but he was beginning to become humble. But hopefully this will make him even more humble because he can see that he's not invisible now and he can get his ass knocked out. So, but yeah, big ups to him. Bobby Lashley, man. No offense, but I have never been a Bobby Lashley fan at all. I don't dislike the guy. It's not that I don't like the guy. It's just that I was not a fan of his fighting style. I felt as if he had no skill whatsoever. And I don't care what anybody says. He's a good wrestler, but as big as he is, to me, he's not a great wrestler. He's an okay wrestler. That showed tonight. And I think that, Bobby Lashley, he lost a lot of weight. He cut some weight and he doesn't look as big as he used to. And I think really that kind of played a factor, if you ask me too, because he wasn't able to get those takedowns. Don't get me wrong, he got the takedowns. He got a couple of slams in there, but guy as big as Bobby Lashley, man, he should be able to, when he gets on top of somebody, he should be able to do a lot more damage, and he should be able to just do a lot more, than what he was doing. And like I say, again, being that big and that muscular, like I say, the acid builds up in your arm. They say it time and time again, and that kind of showed here tonight too. And then again, I want to discredit the guy that he was fighting. I don't really know his name, so forgive me. But like I said, I wasn't really that interested in his fights, but I decided to watch it anyway. But that guy did a great job. You could tell he had a lot of heart, and he went in there to win and shock the world, and that's what he did. And honestly, I don't count anybody out when they're going against Bobby Lashley because I don't think he's really all that great of a fighter. But I do wish him well in the future. But I knew this day was coming, and I just had this little eerie feeling that this is going to be an upset tonight. I had a feeling King Mo was going to lose. I had a feeling Bobby Lashley was going to lose, and both of them lost tonight. And to me, Bobby Lashley, he has a hell of a lot to continue to work on throughout his. He needs to really work on some stuff. He needs to get his jiu-jitsu game up. He needs to get his grappling game up. I don't care if he wants to be in MMA. He has to really, really, really do something other than wrestle. Don't get me wrong. Wrestlers, they seem to do the best job coming from their athletic background and their wrestling background. They seem to do the best in MMA. But at the same time, they can't just think that that's going to continue to get them by. And you wrestlers have to really get on your game too. You got to understand, man. It's MMA, and I tell you what, you're dealing with a guy who has heart, man. You better be in shape because this guy right here had heart, and it all started from that cut. I don't know what happened play by play, but all I can tell you is I know ever since he got cut, Bobby Lashley saw his own blood for the first time. This guy looked like, I always thought he was just a big old soft cupcake. That's just what I just thought about Bobby Lashley, man. To me, he's just a real big soft guy. and no harm in that. But to me, he doesn't really look like a fighter. You know, it to me it kind of seems like they handpicked their opponents, and he just didn't. Bobby Lashley just doesn't. He does not strike me as a fighter. He just doesn't. Congratulations to him for getting in the cage. Big ups to him for having the heart to get in there. But I knew once Bobby Lashley got into sort of a real fight, and let's just face it, there's other guys out there who could possibly destroy Bobby Lashley in the first round. And luckily, he just fought a lot of these no-namers. And it's good and bad for his career. He got beat by a guy nobody really knows who the hell he is. That's gonna put a stain on him. Maybe if he would have took the stuff up in competition, months ago, if he would have lost to somebody with a higher caliber and resume in the game, perhaps to somebody just higher ranking, it wouldn't look that bad. But he lost to a guy we really didn't even know anything about, even though that doesn't mean anything, but it just doesn't look good for him, man. And to me, he just has a hell of a lot to work on. But congratulations to the guy who beat him, whoever he is. Ever since he opened Bobby up, I knew the fight was going downhill for Bobby Lashley right then and there. Basically, man, I just think that the guy doesn't really have a lot of heart. And I mean, don't get me wrong, he has some heart for even getting in the cage, but he doesn't have a hell of a lot of it. I just seen the expression on his face when he seen his blood. He was like, he wanted a way out, man. And sure enough, when he kept getting beat in the side of his head, I knew it was over. I said, just a matter of time before the referee stops this fight. But anyways, Bobby Lashley want to continue to be in this sport and grow. Work on some things, man. Get your ground game up, work on your grappling, and work on your hands. Work on your stand-up game. It is terrible. KJ Noons did a great job. He got off to a slow start, if you ask me, but in the end, he did a great job. I forgot the other guy's name. All I know is I've seen him hang out with Rich Franklin a couple of times. I haven't really seen him fight a lot. He's a stupid guy, I mean that in the most respectful kind of way. It's kind of weird, they say he's a great ground artist. He knows jiu-jitsu. He's a great jiu-jitsu artist. He didn't show it. He didn't go in there trying to get the takedown. He didn't try to get this fight to the ground at all and submit KJ Noons. He went in there and played KJ Noons' game, and for the most part, he was doing okay. I don't know if that has anything to do with Strikeforce. I didn't know if they say, hey, go in there and make this an exciting fight. I don't know, but it seemed kind of strange. The guy didn't go for one takedown attempt, period, and he paid for it. He got his ass kicked. He got his ass knocked out. Big ups to KJ Noons. I think KJ also needs to work on some stuff too, man. I think he needs to work on his ground game. I think he needs to work on his wrestling and his hands. They're not as good as people try to make it seem. He has some good hands, but believe me, if he fights a guy who really knows how to box, all this bullshit about him calling out Floyd Mayweather, he just needs to stop it. He's embarrassing himself. He is no way on that level of Mayweather. You couldn't even really hang with the guys, the low-level guys in boxing. Better yet, stop calling out Mayweather. Look, man, stay in MMA. You do a great job in MMA. There's nothing wrong with wanting to excel and do other things, but, man, you have to become you have to work your way up, Stop calling everybody out. You did a great job. I am a fan of KJ Noons. I know a lot of people don't like him, but I do like the guy. But big up to the other guy for having enough heart to go in there and try to put on the show. I do appreciate that. But he got his ass knocked out at the end. A lot of people try to say, KJ Noons hit him with an illegal knee at the end. Look, man, that guy was done anyways. And it was completely on. The dude did not. It was completely unintentional. KJ did not. He was not trying to do anything illegal. You could tell that he was just in the spare. He was in the moment. And he was just trying to. He was trying to fight. He was trying to get the guy out of there. It goes with the territory, man. If you can't deal with that, get out of here. You know what I'm saying? The guy was out of there, and I can see if he did it intentionally and it caused the guy to go down, but it's not the case here.